Let yourself sink down into the quiet. Wherever you are right now, let it hold you. There's nowhere to be and nothing to do. Just breathe, slow and easy, and let these words carry you somewhere soft and far away. Let yourself drift down where the world outside fades into quiet mist. You are drifting now, pulled by the rhythm of the tide and the steady breath of the fog. Imagine standing near a small lighthouse, nestled on a coastline where the air is cool and heavy with salt. The fog rolls in, soft and deep, swallowing the edges of the day until only the distant beam remains visible. It sweeps out across the water, a slow, comforting pulse in the vast velvet darkness. Feel yourself sinking into that same quiet rhythm. Let your thoughts become as meandering and gentle as the tide washing over smooth stones below. There is nothing to hold on to here but the sound of the waves whispering secrets to the shore, guiding you deeper, further into sleep. Picture a place that exists only in the hazy quiet just before sleep arrives. A coast shrouded in soft fog where time seems to lose its edges and slow its rhythm. Let your awareness drift toward this gentle haven. You find yourself near a small, ornate lighthouse standing steadfast against a misty night. The air is cool and damp, carrying the faint creak of wooden beams connecting it to one or more linked structures. A thick blanket of fog rolls in from the headland, creeping closer until it surrounds you entirely. You lean quietly against the railing of a cabin, gazing out through a small porthole window at the veil of mist that settles over the water below. Soft light spills from a few nearby windows and doorways, illuminating the gentle rhythm of the ocean waves breaking far beneath the fog's edge, guiding your thoughts into a deep, steady quietude. The air around you feels heavy tonight, thick and cool, carrying the damp breath of the sea fog rolling in. You are nestled near a solitary lighthouse, watching the beams slice through the milky curtain overhead. A deep quiet settles over the coast, broken only by the rhythmic sigh of the waves against the rocks below. There is no need to speak. Everything that needs saying drifts away with the mist. You and this place share the same breath, an enveloping stillness where time slows down until it feels like liquid glass. It is a perfect moment of suspended quietude, just being together in this encompassing space, so close to the mystery of the turning light. A profound story unfolds not through words, but through the steady pulse of the lantern itself, a tale woven from threads of longing and acceptance, deeply entwined with the comforting presence of community. You feel a gentle shift within your chest, an opening like an unread book, as if some long-held memory is finally waiting to be seen. Let that feeling wash over you now, letting the soft glow of the lighthouse guide you further into sleep. Drift now into the mist, where the only sounds are the soft wash of water against stone. You stand near a small lighthouse, watching its steady beam cut through the heavy curtain of fog. It is a quiet kind of night, one where memories feel distant and indistinct, like echoes caught in the tide. You only know that deep down, a truth persists, a feeling that something important is just out of reach, hidden beneath layers of silver mist. Allow your thoughts to me. The fog rolls in like damp silk, muffling the sound of your own breathing until it feels deep and steady. You walk toward the quiet glow of the lighthouse, its beams sweeping across the silver gray water. A gentle presence seems to follow you from the mist, a figure draped in a soft, unexpected shade of twilight purple. They do not rush, their steps are measured, echoing the slow drift of the tide against the rocks below. When they finally reach you, there is no need for words, only a deep, comforting warmth that settles over both of you like sea mist on warm skin. A shared moment unfolds in silent understanding, a release of tension so profound it feels like laughter bubbling up from your deepest core, until it leaves you feeling utterly weightless and entirely seen. This quiet reassurance becomes a pattern, a soft light guiding you through the deep hours of the night. Each encounter is a gentle dismantling of old walls built by fear or doubt. You realize that true strength is not found in navigating the judgment of others, but in the steady, unwavering glow within your own heart. Feel yourself turning inward now, safe within the lighthouse beam, embracing every quiet flaw and recognizing them as part of your essential, beautiful self. Drift now toward a place where time slows its current, guided by the soft haze of a foggy coast at night. Imagine standing near a small lighthouse, ancient and steadfast against the water's edge. The moon lifts just above the horizon, spreading a whisper of silver light that filters through the dark foliage around you. A gentle breeze moves past, carrying only the cool scent of salt and mystery into the quiet air surrounding the tall structure. There is no rush of wind. There are no calls overhead. Only a steady, low hum seems to emanate from deep within the stone walls. Inside, the dim light catches on something suspended behind the glass of an observation deck, a subtle focus that draws all attention. A moment of quiet realization washes over you as the mystery becomes clear. Then, with the gentle chime of a distant bell, a comforting sound begins to rise up, a soft melody promising peace. You feel yourself drawn inward, embraced by the warmth and security of belonging, settling into the deep comfort of the night. Let your mind drift now, out onto the quiet coast where the fog rolls in like soft silk. You are standing near a small lighthouse, watching the mist gather around the rocks below. Listen to the deep rhythm of the tide pulling back and then sighing forward, a gentle breath that lulls you deeper into rest. The world feels muffled here, wrapped in pearl gray silence. Only the slow sweep of the lantern beam cuts through the haze, a steady promise of light marking your path home. You are learning to look not for what is far away or grandly promised, but simply for what resides right at your feet. Notice how the soft glow from the tower reminds you that clarity often comes in small, rhythmic pulses. Breathe with the turning beam. Let any worries about tomorrow drift out into the way. Let your mind drift now, softly, toward a quiet coast shrouded in fog at night. You find yourself drawn to a small lighthouse standing sentinel against the deep blue hush. Above you, stars twinkle away, seeming impossibly far from any earthbound thought. This secluded area has seen little of human life, save for the occasional visit during the bright day. But when the weather closes in or a storm gathers its might, people seek shelter here. The walls feel thick and solid, sturdy against the world outside, wrapping you in an immediate sense of deep security. Imagine settling into this place through the long winter months. It feels natural, finding comfort in the endless supply of fuel stacked nearby for warmth, promising another year wrapped in safety. You are surrounded by a room piled high with cozy blankets, waiting to cocoon you entirely. Wood rests against the wall, ready to chase away the darkness, and provisions lie stored away, anticipating nothing but gentle rest. Just breathe and settle into this quiet harbor of peace. The deep, slow breath of the fog drifts over you, wrapping around the quiet tower like a soft drift now, carried by the velvet tide of night fog. You are standing near a small, sturdy lighthouse, wrapped in the hush of the coast. The air is cool and damp, smelling faintly of salt and distant stone. There is no need to talk or rush. Everything here slows down to the pace of the tides, pulling out into the deep gray water. Watch as the beam swings overhead, a slow, rhythmic sigh cutting through the mist. Feel yourself settling deeper into the soft curve of sleep, letting your thoughts drift further and further away from the shore, following the steady, hypnotic arc of the light until nothing remains but the quiet journey inward. Let your thoughts drift now, letting go of any edges or anchors you might be holding on to. Imagine instead a quiet coast, shrouded in the velvet breath of fog. You find yourself near a small, steadfast lighthouse, standing sentinel against the deep, whispering dark. The air is cool and damp, carrying only the faint, rhythmic scent of salt and wet stone. Listen closely to the steady pulse of the waves below, a gentle murmur that seems to pull you deeper into sleep. Above, the fog clings like soft gauze, swallowing the edges of the world until all that exists is the comforting sweep of light from the lantern room. The beam cuts through the mist in slow, deliberate arcs, painting fleeting patterns on the gray curtain surrounding you. You are safe here, suspended between the tide and the turning glow, drifting gently into a deep quietude. The world around you softens to a wash of pearl gray fog, wrapping you in quiet comfort. You find yourself near a small lighthouse where time moves only by the rhythm of the tide. The air is cool and damp, smelling faintly of salt and distant mist. Everything slows down until all that exists is the gentle sound of water meeting stone. A profound silence settles over the coast, broken only by the slow sweep of the lamp beam cutting through the vapor. You watch the light trace a steady path across the dark expanse, a reliable pulse in the deep quiet. You settle into a stillness that feels ancient and perfect, sinking deeper with every breath. The gentle mist rolls in, a soft blanket drawn across the curve of the coast. You feel only the rhythmic draw of the tide below, pulling out to meet the vast, quiet water. Far off, where the beam of light sweeps across the endless gray, you notice a stillness at the edge of things, a presence that does not belong to the gathering warmth or the structured rhythm of the shore. It is just there, subtly outside the circle of visible activity. The murmurs of voices fade into the sea air, becoming indistinguishable from the whisper of the fog itself. You are simply watching the light turn, a slow, deliberate rotation through the deep indigo velvet, guiding you further into rest and quiet slumber. The mist rolls in, a slow breath across the curve of the coast, blurring the line between what is real and what is only remembered. You stand near the base of the stone tower, watching the fog drift like silk sheets over the deep water. The beam sweeps out, steady and predictable, cutting through the gray veil with comforting rhythm. It reminds you that even when thoughts seem tangled, 1,000 paths diverging into mist, there is always this unwavering light. Listen closely to the sound of the tide pulling back, an endless whisper that speaks only of what has passed, leaving you suspended in a deep, quiet moment between breaths and dreams. The waves wash over the rocks below, gently reminding you that nothing ever stays still. Everything simply drifts towards sleep. Drift now into the quiet curtain of the fog, where the world is softened and muted. You stand beside a small lighthouse, nestled on a coast that seems to breathe with the rhythm of the tides. The air is cool and thick, tasting faintly of salt and ancient stone. Listen closely. You can hear only the rhythmic sighing of the waves pulling back from the shore below. They whisper secrets against the rocks, slow and steady, like memories washing out into the deep gray expanse. Above you, the fog wraps itself around the tower, making the edges of reality soft and indistinct. The beam sweeps across the mist, a silent, hypnotic pulse that moves through the enveloping stillness. You are suspended in this moment, drifting deeper as the light cycles, letting your thoughts become as slow and steady as the turning glass above you. There is nothing to remember but the gentle rhythm. Inhale with the tide, exhale into the quiet fog. Just rest here, held safe within the beam's soft glow until sleep finds you. Feel yourself drifting now, carried by a slow current toward a quiet coast. Before you stands a small lighthouse, sturdy against the deep night. Watch as the fog begins its gentle advance, rolling in across the bay like a soft, milky breath. The air around you grows cool and damp, wrapping you in a blanket of mist that muffles every sound into a hushed whisper. You stand close to the shore, where the powerful rhythm of the waves continues their timeless crash against the rocks below. Listen to the steady, hypnotic wash of water receding, pulling back only to gather strength for its next soft surge. Let the sounds of the sea and the fog guide you deeper into rest, carrying you away with every breath until sleep finds you. If you ever feel yourself adrift in a dream, do not worry about finding your way back. Simply allow yourself to wander. Let your steps follow the quiet rhythm of the tide, drifting where the air is thick and cool with fog. You find yourself walking along a forgotten stretch of coast, where an old lighthouse drifts now toward a place where time moves with the slow breath of the tide. Picture yourself on a quiet, foggy coast, enveloped in the soft mystery of night. Here stands a small lighthouse, watchful and steady against the deepening haze. The air is cool and damp, carrying only the whisper of waves washing gently onto the shore. Allow your thoughts to soften, drifting like fog across still waters, letting go of every edge you hold on to. Watch the beam sweep through the mist, a slow arc of light that promises guidance without demanding attention. Feel the rhythm deepen, a gentle pulse against the silence, guiding you into deeper rest until only the steady turning of the light remains. The night settles around you, quiet and profound, until a single star pricks the velvet curtain above the harbor. A hush falls over the sleeping coast, and the only sound is the rhythmic whisper of waves against the shore. As the beam sweeps out from the small lighthouse, it catches the mystery in the fog, illuminating whitewashed walls where shadows dance slow and soft beneath the crescent moon. A stillness settles deep within your chest, a breathtaking pause as you watch something beautiful unfolding in the distance. An unseen magic has drawn you into this quiet space, a world both invisible and vibrantly real. You feel the pull towards the depths below, where the ocean seems to stir with forgotten life. From that profound, ancient water, a gentle hope begins to rise up, whispering secrets of what lies beneath. You are left suspended in the moment, contemplating the deep currents that move through you. There is no need for grand declarations or difficult choices tonight, only the quiet acknowledgement of where your heart wishes to rest. Feel yourself drifting out with the tide, noticing how every passing thought ripples outward, spreading gentle circles across the surface of sleep. These subtle movements are enough, tracing patterns into a place that seems lost to time, a perfect depth for slumber. The fog rolls in, thick and soft, swallowing up the edges of the world until all you can see is the wet stone beneath your feet. There is no single path to follow here, only the gentle pull toward light. You feel a quiet sense of possibility, 100 tiny currents moving through the deep water around the base of the lighthouse. Each one represents a potential direction, a life force waiting for its moment. There is no need to choose everything at once. Simply breathe and let your attention settle on what feels most necessary in this hushed hour. A faint beam sweeps over you, tracing arcs across the gray mist, guiding you toward a single, certain point. It seems as though the map was always here, etched into the very rhythm of the tide, showing that everything is exactly where it needs to be. Just drift and let the light lead you home. The fog rolls in like a soft curtain, muffling the edges of everything you know. There is no map here, only the slow drift of mist that surrounds you completely. As the fog deepens, it seems to pull at your thoughts, suggesting currents of light heading two ways. One calling with a whisper of northern silver, another murmuring promises from the southern sweep of the plains. Neither direction is truly separate. They share the same breath of salt air and night. You do not need a guide. You find yourself drifting toward the rhythm of a quiet coast, veiled in soft fog beneath a velvet sky. Ahead, a small lighthouse stands sentinel, casting its slow, rhythmic beam into the deep, gathering dark. The light sweeps out over the water, illuminating distant shapes, the silhouettes of boats and ships passing by far off in the hush. Some vessels are suspended in perfect stillness, empty and silent against the mist. Others glide with gentle rocking motions, or seem to hurry toward another shore across the vast bay. Each boat carries its own history, a secret life tucked away deep within its hull, waiting for the right moment to unfold into the world. Sometimes, those journeys never reach land again. They are caught by unseen currents, carried by tides that pull them over time until only memory remains. Yet, even when far out of sight, their untold tales linger, locked below decks and hidden in the deep holds. Occasionally, a quiet wonder arises. What treasures might wait beneath the waves near the pilings, resting patiently, waiting simply to be found by chance? Let the fog settle around you now, soft and thick like forgotten memories. You are standing here, near the steady rhythm of the old lighthouse, watching the slow drift of the night sea. Sometimes, the evidence of these passing moments remains beyond understanding, buried deep beneath layers of time, waiting only for the gentle turning tide to reveal them. Listen closely. The world feels vast tonight, filled with echoes of distant voyages. You can almost hear the murmuring sounds carried on the wind, the calls of sailors searching for kin lost in treacherous waters, or perhaps the soft warning cries meant for those who stray too close to the dark shore. Feel your breath slow, matching the steady sweep of the lamp beam cutting through the fog. Let yourself drift into the comfort of these unknown depths, allowing your dreams to guide you, taking you where the light touches nothing but endless, peaceful night. Imagine you are drawn slowly toward a quiet coast, enveloped by thick, gentle fog. Ahead, a small lighthouse stands steadfastly against the mystery of the night sea. The air is cool and damp, carrying the faint scent of salt spray and wet stone. You feel yourself settling into the rhythm of the tide, letting the steady beam sweep across the gray expanse. All sounds around you soften and slow, blurring the edges of waking reality until only a deep sense of peace remains. Drift now, following the soft, hypnotic pulse of the light, deeper and deeper into the quiet embrace of slumber. You are drifting now, suspended in the quiet breath of the fog. Before you, the small stone lighthouse stands sentinel against the velvet blackness of the sea. It is an ancient place, wrapped in mist that smells faintly of salt and distant cedar. The only sound is the rhythmic sigh of the water meeting the rocks below, a gentle hush that seems to slow your own breathing. The light within the tower turns, a steady, measured sweep of brilliant white, cutting through the swirling gray curtain. It does not hurry, it simply assures you that everything is safe here, anchored in this moment. You feel yourself sinking into the quiet rhythm, allowing the world outside to fade until only the pulse of the beam remains. Drift with the light, letting every thought become as soft and predictable as the tide returning to the shore. The journey ends here, wrapped in the steady glow until sleep finds you. Let your awareness drift upward, imagining a quiet ascent until you find yourself suspended in the stillness of a foggy coast at night. You are standing near a small, sturdy lighthouse, watching the world dissolve into soft mist. The air is cool and damp, carrying only the whisper of the tide against ancient stones. There is no urgency here, only the slow rhythm of peace. Above you, the beam sweeps out across the deep water, cutting temporary arcs through the thick curtain of fog, marking the steady passage of time. Feel yourself sinking into this gentle, rhythmic sway. The world beyond the glass and stone fades to a beautiful obscurity, inviting you simply to breathe in the quiet vastness, letting every thought drift away with the tide until only the soft glow of the light remains. Drift now into the deep quiet of the fog. You stand beside an old lighthouse, its beams sweeping through a milky curtain of mist across the dark water. The air here is cool and smells faintly of salt and forgotten journeys. Listen to the steady rhythm of the waves against the rocks below, a slow, hypnotic sigh that lulls you deeper into rest. Feel yourself settle onto the worn stone steps, letting the gentle rocking of the coast carry away any thoughts or worries. All that exists is the whisper of the fog, the deep pulse of the sea, and the silent comfort of the light turning its steady watch overhead. Sleep now, carried by the tide. You find yourself standing on damp stone steps, where the air tastes of salt and endless fog. The only sound is the slow, rhythmic sigh of the waves pulling back from the edge of the quiet coast. You watch the beam sweep out over the inky water, marking time with a lonely grace. Deep within the tower, shadows linger like old secrets, gathering around piles of forgotten logs and weathered books. A silence falls, thick and absolute, broken only by the distant cry of a gull that seems to drift in from nowhere. You feel a profound sense of waiting, as if you are suspended between one breath and the next. Everything here is muffled, even your own footsteps seem to absorb into the damp air. The light continues its slow circuit, guiding nothing but the quiet journey toward slumber. The fog rolls in softly now, a gentle blanket drawn across the quiet coast. You stand near the lighthouse, watching the mist drift around the sturdy base of the tower. The only sounds are the slow sigh of the tide and the rhythmic sweep of the lamp overhead. The beam cuts through the swirling vapor, painting arcs of pale light on the wet rocks below. You feel yourself swaying slightly, suspended in this quiet space between the sea and the sky. Every breath you take is deep and calm, matching the steady beat of the ocean's whisper against the shore. Let your thoughts drift out with the fog, slowly, meanderingly, until they settle into the deepest peace of the night. You are safe here, rocked by the gentle rhythm of the distant light. Drift now into the quiet rhythm of the coast. You stand near a small lighthouse, its beam sweeping across the deep curtain of fog. The only sounds are the slow sigh of the tide and the faint, steady pulse of the lantern above you. Feel yourself sinking deeper, wrapped in the velvet stillness of the night. The mist grows thick, softening every edge until there is nothing but the gentle wash of gray around your ankles. You are suspended here, caught between dream and reality, held only by the cyclical sweep of light across the water. Let your thoughts drift out to sea with the receding tide, following the lighthouse beam into a profound, peaceful slumber. Drift now into the quiet hush where a small lighthouse stands against a foggy coast. The night wraps around you like a soft, damp blanket. You are suspended in a gentle current of time, drifting back to a place built for silence. Imagine yourself settled there, nestled within a world that belongs only to the two of you. Around you, the vast ocean breathes slowly, its rhythm a deep, constant whisper against the wooden dock. The air is alive with the sound of shifting wind and the distant crash of waves, mingling with the soft murmurs drifting from the village settling into sleep. Listen closely. The gentle chime of church bells drifts through the fog, sounding less like an alarm and more like a sweet lullaby, guiding you home toward peaceful rest. As the moon rises above the dark water, it casts its glow, not just upon the surface, but deep within the restless currents below. The sea begins to smooth out, losing its sharp edge until the waves are nothing but soft, slow ripples touching your world. Settle deeper into this quiet space. Feel something subtle. A quiet sense of deep relaxation begins to take shape, pulling you gently downward until you feel yourself drifting beneath a wave as vast and profound as the deepest bay depths. When you finally surface near the shore, there is no certainty if this reality is waking or merely spun from sleep. Everything feels subtly altered. Your body seems softer. Your ears seem tuned to sounds that do not exist in the daylight. You realize now that you have somehow joined a slow, steady vessel, a magnificent lighthouse anchored against the quiet coast. Soon, you will begin to embark out into the fog-veiled sea once more. Drift now upon the quiet tide, where the mist curls like spun silver around the rocks. You stand near the small lighthouse, watching the veil of fog soften the edges of the world until there is nothing to look at but the endless gray drift. Listen only for the rhythmic wash of the water against the stones below, a steady whisper that promises deep rest. Above you, the beam sweeps out, slow and deliberate, cutting an arc through the damp air, a silent, comforting promise in the enveloping quiet. Feel your own breath matching the gentle pace of the turning light, letting every thought simply drift away with the outgoing tide until only the profound stillness remains. Imagine the slow breath of the fog rolling in from the quiet coast. You are nestled close to the sturdy stone lighthouse, watching the world soften into shades of pearl gray and deep navy. The air is cool and damp, carrying only the gentle sigh of water against the rocks below. There is no need to fight the night or force your thoughts to settle. Instead, allow them simply to drift, like small, luminous boats moving across a calm, unseen tide. Focus only on the rhythmic sweep of the lamp above you, a steady pulse that cuts through the mist. It does not demand attention, it merely exists, reliable and unwavering. Let your awareness soften, mirroring the way the fog gradually consumes the harsh edges of the shore. You are safe here, suspended in this quiet rhythm, drifting deeper with every passing beam of light until the boundaries between wakefulness and dream begin to dissolve completely. Just breathe with the steady heart of the beacon, letting the deep calm pull you under into restful sleep. The fog rolls in softly now, a cool blanket settling over the quiet coast. You stand near the small lighthouse, watching the mist thicken until the world feels suspended in pearl gray silence. The rhythmic beam sweeps out across the water, a slow, steady pulse guiding you deeper into restful sleep. Each gentle flash is a reminder of enduring light, shining through the veil of dreams and away from wakeful thought. You are safe here, held by the quiet support of the sea and the steadfast glow above. Drift now on the tide of deep calm, letting the rhythm carry you towards sweet slumber. The fog rolls in like a whispered curtain, soft and gray, blurring the edge of the world until there is nothing but you and the slow breath of the tide. You are standing near the base of an old lighthouse, small and sturdy against the whispering coast. The air tastes of salt and forgotten dreams. Overhead, the night sky seems to hold its breath, a deep, velvety curtain of indigo. A steady rhythm begins now, the great lamp turning slowly within the tower above you. It sweeps out in gentle arcs, painting brief, brilliant circles across the misty surface of the water. Each flash is a moment suspended, a soft promise that something remains constant even when everything else drifts away. You watch the beam trace its path over the dark, quiet waves, feeling the comforting sway beneath your feet, as if you are rocking gently in a deep cradle. The light pulses, a slow heartbeat keeping time with the turning of the tide, guiding you further into the velvet stillness until sleep arrives like the mist itself. You are drifting now, suspended between moments, carried by the slow breath of the tide. The fog rolls in, soft and deep, wrapping around your ankles like silk sheets. Ahead, the small lighthouse stands steadfast against the quiet coast, its light turning slowly, gently, sweeping across the dark water. Feel yourself slowing to that rhythm, letting every thought drift out with the receding waves, until you find your own calm current pulling you into a beautiful, deep rest. And slowly, gently, we let all of it drift away now. No thread to follow, nothing to hold, just the quiet and your breath and the warm dark carrying you the rest of the way down. Rest now.